All right, guys. Our next guest is one of the UFC's biggest personalities, as well as the UFC's interim welterweight champion. He is known as the Great American Winning Machine, and he joins us back here on the program. Colby Chaos Covington, welcome back to Submission Radio. How are you today, man? We see you got a brand new shirt. What's going on here?
Yeah, I got a brand new shirt. One of my most loyal fans sent it to me. Since I'm an American patriot, and not a snowflake pussy like the shirt says. I got to rep the brand.
Well, it's been a little while since we last heard from you. So tell us, what have you been up to in the last few weeks since the aftermath of UFC 228?
The same thing I've been doing my whole life. I'm getting paid and I'm getting laid. So, I've just been enjoying South Florida. I've been on my victory tour still, celebrating MAGA, celebrating my world championship, and just being a winner. Every day I wake up, I get a little bit richer. I get a new chick. So I'm living the American dream.
We saw on your Instagram you were doing a video, I think, for a betting website, and it was you laying down, and I noticed, oh yeah, that's Colby. I recognize him. And then there was a big ass in the background, a big ass in a thong. Whose ass was that, Colby?
Oh, that was just one of my weekday fucks. Just a girl, I hooked up with. I said, hey, you want to get famous? You want to get your ass famous for a night? So, I put her on my Instagram real quick. Had to promote and do some marketing for UFC 229 between the sheep fucker Khabib versus that drunk Irish midget, whatever his name is, Conor or something like that. So, I was just having a good time.
Well, tell us, what did you think of that fight, the UFC 229 main event? What were your thoughts on it?
That was kind of what I expected. We all know that Conor's kind of been protected. He's never fought a wrestler. He's kind of one-dimensional. He's decent on the feet. He's knocked some guys out, but he's not a well-rounded fighter. He doesn't have wrestling. He doesn't have grappling. So, I expected that. I knew he gasses in fights, and Khabib's one-dimensional. All he can do is wrestle. So, everybody was, was Khabib, going to be able to take down Conor, or was Conor going to knock him out first? But I knew Khabib was just going to take him down and just get him tired and then finish him, and that's what he did.
People not sure how long Khabib's going to stay at lightweight. Obviously, he has issues with his weight cuts, and maybe one day he'll move up to welterweight. If he did move up to welterweight, how do you think Khabib would do against guys like you and guys like Tyron Woodley?
He doesn't stand a chance against a guy like me, I can tell you that. And that's the reason he's cutting all that weight to go to lightweight. He knows he has no chance to win at welterweight. There's guys like me who can wrestle back into him and who can strike and do jiu-jitsu and get up off the bottom. So, it's a completely different fight. And that's why he cuts all that weight, to go to lightweight. He's scared of welterweight. So, after I finish dunking my balls on Tyron Woodley and finishing his career off, I'll be looking for that fight. If he wants to meet in the middle, I'm not a big 170, so we can meet right in the middle, 162. Right in the middle, 155, 170. We can do the super fight, 162. But, I have a feeling he's going to get scared and he's going to back out, and his dad's going to tell him to retire before he fights me.
I was wondering, what did you think of the brawl afterwards, him jumping out and getting in a fight with Dylan Dennis and people jumping in and attacking Conor McGregor? What were your thoughts on that?
I thought that was a complete joke. He conducted himself like a filthy animal. He set the sport back 20 years. There's no reason you jump out of a cage. That's why there's commissions, and you're a professional. That guy just made you more money in one fight than you're ever going to make for all your fights combined. So you should be kissing that guy's feet. You should be thanking him for putting all that money in your bank account. And what do you go do? You shame on the sport. So, that's why I call him a sheep fucker. And there's no lie in that. I got banned from Twitter for like 2 weeks for calling him a sheep fucker. So
really,
but 20,000 people, but 20,000 people agreed with me. They liked that tweet. There was like 6,000 retweets, and then all the soft liberals that run Twitter, they put me on a ban on Twitter. So, I had to end up deleting the tweet, which is bullshit. We're in America. This is freedom of speech. How am I getting my tweets deleted and, for my freedom of speech? And, they said it's hate speech, but, we're in the fight business. I'm building a fight. I'm saying fighting words because I want to fight a guy. So, it didn't make any sense. And all the soft snowflake liberal pussies on Twitter, they need to chill the fuck out.
Wow, I can't believe Twitter would do that. I mean, I can, but I'm disappointed in Twitter. I don't think they understand fight promotion. Speaking of fights, obviously the fight that everybody wanted to see was you versus Tyron Woodley. The UFC didn't want to wait until you were healthy. What is your health at now, Colby? How is sort of everything healed up for you?
Yeah, I'm almost back to 100% health. I was ready to go November 7th for Madison Square Garden. I was ready to make the Garden great again against Woodley, but he tucked his tail between his legs and he went running for the foothills like the little pussy that he is. He's out here faking injuries again. Last time we were supposed to fight, it was a shoulder injury. Now he's faking a thumb injury. So, I'm ready to go, man. I'm at full health, and I'm ready to go whenever they want to make the fight. But, now we got to wait for Woodley to do his little TMZ bullshit where he's talking about, what Kardashian's bathing suits they're going to wear on which week. And he's out here making these fucking whack-ass rap albums. I'll eat your ass. Like, what a joke, man. You guys listen. If you listen to that guy, it's just a joke, man. Like, you could probably do a better rap album than him.
Has the UFC spoken to you at all about possible dates when Woodley might be healthy? Have they been in touch with you whatsoever?
No, I haven't heard anything. From what I know, and I let them know. Super Bowl weekend, it needs to happen. This is the biggest fight that the UFC can put together for a title fight right now that hasn't been booked. So, it only makes sense to put it on one of the biggest weekends of the year, Super Bowl weekend in Vegas.
Just for all any Aussie and New Zealand listeners, the ones that may not follow the NFL, when roughly month-wise is Super Bowl weekend?
Super Bowl weekend is the first weekend in February.
See, that will be a fun one. Just quickly, was there any truth to you potentially fighting Nick Diaz at UFC 230 or the UFC trying to put that fight together?
Yeah, there was a lot of truth to it. They were talking about it, putting that fight together behind the scenes so we could save the Garden, be in the main event, put the two brothers on the same show. There would have been a lot of history there. But, at the end of the day, Nick got scared. He started coming out acting like, fronting like he's this gangster and that he's ready to fight. He'll fight anybody. He's from the hood. He's 209's finest and shit. But as soon as my name got brought up, he got scared and he went back into hiding like he does, I don't think Nick wants to fight anymore. I think his career's over. He's not going to fight ever again. He's just, every time he comes out and says he wants to fight this and that, he's just using that to stay in the spotlight. He's using that to get headlines. He's using that to, keep the promotion, keep the hype up so he can get a couple social media followers, which is bullshit. So, I don't think that guy wants to fight again. He's a little diva.
But that is a fight that you would like, correct? If the UFC could put that fight together, that's something you would love, right?
Yeah, I would love that fight. It's an easy fight. It's an easy stylistic fight. I'll fight that guy any fight form there is possible. Bare knuckle. If Zuffa wants to do a boxing match, that guy's a joke. He's past his time. The only thing he's beating up these days is 115-pound women.
I was gonna say, it's crazy because the UFC, it's no secret that they've struggled to fill this UFC 230 card. Obviously, we had Diaz on there at one point, Nate Diaz. That fell through. They sort of rushed to put in Derek Lewis against DC, both guys who aren't exactly 100%. In hindsight, do you think they made a mistake by not having you versus Tyron Woodley, especially in a place like New York, obviously with the support of Donald Trump for yourself, Tyron Woodley sort of coming in there? I feel like it was the perfect recipe rather than sort of rushing Darren Till to that title shot. Do you think they made a mistake and they should have just waited?
Yeah, I think they did make a mistake. I think they, they tried to rush it. They felt like they were in a bind. They wanted to make money on that Dallas show on pay-per-view. And, they got bills to pay. They got the $4 billion installment, the loan installments they got to pay back on that loan that they got to buy the UFC. So I understand that's an expensive ticket. So they're going to be scrambled and rushed to fill every pay-per-view with the best fights that they can fill. So, I understand. But, all the history that was going to happen at the Garden, I had the Trump family reaching out to me saying that they wanted to go to the Garden and they were going to be right down the street in New York if I fought. So, it sucks, man. It was going to be a big event, and, it's the biggest event of the year at the Garden. And, Hulkamania started at the Garden. So, it only made sense that I was going to go there and make the Garden great again. But, the reason it didn't come together is because Woodley's, out here faking injuries. After his fight with Till, he said he was 100% healthy. He went to the shower. He got ready. He went to the press conference a couple hours later. He says, hey, I'm 100% healthy. I'm ready to fight Colby. I'll fight Colby at the Garden. But then as soon as the UFC started telling him he was going to have to fight, then he got scared. He wanted more money because he knows I'm going to end his career and I'm going to finish off his career. So he wants to get the most money possible. So I think the negotiations went bad with that. And And, then he's like tucked his head under his tail and he said, you know what, I'm out the rest of the year. I can't fight till next year. So that's why we're at where we're at now. And I got to wait till next year to fight him. It kind of sucks.
You mentioned that some of the Trump family reached out to you and were excited to see you at Madison Square Garden. Which members of the Trump family have been in contact with you?
I've spoken to Donald Trump Jr., his son, multiple times. So we've been in contact, and he was really excited. He wanted to come out and support me in the Garden in New York. It's right down the street from Washington, D.C. So it's unfortunate. It was going to be a great day. This fight has got such great build-up, just the size, the angles, everything. I've been building this fight up for years. So, the thing is Tyron doesn't know how to promote and sell a fight. But it's okay. I could sell a fight with a mop. But, by the way, that mop would have more charisma than Tyron Woodley. So this fight has a lot of different angles. It's going to go, the Republican versus the liberals, the red versus blue. I mean, it's just this fight had New York written all over it. And it just sucks that I couldn't go back to the Garden and make it great again.
I think that's the fight that should have happened. I was going to say, though, it was sort of an understanding that because Till versus Woodley was happening, certain things would happen with your interim belt. But what do you make of the fact that the official UFC website still lists you as the current interim welterweight champion?
I think they got it right. I just fought and won that title. A couple months ago, 4 months ago to be exact. So, I think the UFC did right. They know I'm the rightful champion. We got to unify those belts, and it's going to be a huge fight. I think they made the right call. I had a legit surgery I had to get taken care of. I had a sinus surgery, a deviated septum, and I had to get a sinus surgery. So I had to get the nose and all that clearing out so I could start breathing good again. And Woodley wanted to mock me. He wanted to say that, that I didn't need to get that surgery, but this surgery was very important. I had a lot of mucus buildup in my nose, and it was going to my lungs, so I couldn't breathe very good. And I fought like that, in the Damian Maia fight and in the RDA fight, so I wasn't at 100%. But back then, the risk to reward equated. Now I'm fighting for a different set of goals, and it's a different paycheck, and everything's different. So, I want to make sure I'm 100% healthy for that. I'm not going to rush into this fight at that time. So, it was important that I got the sinus surgery, but that's cleared up. It's behind me. I'm healthy, and I'm ready to get back to work now. I'm ready to drain the swamp, just like Donald Trump's doing. He's draining the swamp, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drain the swamp that is the welterweight division, and I'm going to make it great again.
Speaking of the welterweight division, and a little side note, Ben Askren recently tweeted out that there's 90% chance that he signs with the UFC. How would you see a fight against Askren at some point? Obviously, he's a great wrestler as well.
He's a jobber. He has a padded record. He hasn't fought anybody. If he comes over to the UFC, let him work his way up. He's got to earn his way up. He hasn't done anything worthy. But the guy's a joke, man. I mean, he's not on my level. He knows it. He wants to say these things. He's old. He's past his time too, man. I mean, this is my time now. All these guys know it. That's why all these guys want to fight me now, because they know it's my time. And when they lose to me, it's going to be the biggest paycheck they ever get to lose to me. So, Ben Askren's a joke, man. The guy has no skills. He hasn't hurt a fly in 10 years. I mean, he was like in mount on the Russian for 5 rounds and didn't put one scratch on the guy's face. So, I mean, the guy can't strike. He's scared to strike. I mean, it's an easy fight, but he's got a padded record. So we'll see what happens.
I think regardless, you and him would be a very fun matchup for the fans at some point, if it were to ever happen. Also got to ask, there is a man who you share a long and storied history with, and that's, of course, Jon Jones. He officially returns at UFC 232 against Alexander Gustafsson. Got to ask you, man, what did you think of the deal he got from USADA and his alleged cooperation to get such a deal?
He's a snitch. The biggest golden snitch there is, man. Jon Jones, the biggest fuck up in all professional sports. What a complete joke he is, man. Snitching out, ratting out people just so he could get a reduced sentence. That guy should be ashamed of himself. I mean, the guy's a cheater as it is. He's failed 2 steroid tests. His brothers have failed steroid tests for performance-enhancing drug tests in the NFL. So that tells what type of character their whole family has. They're all cheaters. They're all cowards. And now they're rats. They're snitching on people so they get reduced sentences. The guy should be ashamed of himself. If I was Jon Jones, I wouldn't show my face in the MMA world again. The guy made a complete joke of himself, and Alexander Gustafsson's probably going to leave him unconscious. Now he's not got his juice in the octagon.
Well, I was going to say, what kind of John Jones do you think we see when he returns in December?
I don't think we see a very good one. I think we see one that is defeated, one that's coming back just for a paycheck, one that, you know, doesn't have the juice in his body anymore to give that extra kick, to give that extra power, you know, to have that extra speed. He's not going to be the same John Jones, you know. He's not the greatest of all time. That guy's the biggest fuck up of all time. That's all he is. So, you know, he's stepped on his own toes, man. You know, look at what he's done. Look at his career. Look at his resume of the shit that's on his, you know, he should be in jail still. Is he out of jail yet? Where is he at right now? Like, that guy's a fuck up. So, you know, I don't think we'll see much from him in December. I think we'll see a guy looking to get a paycheck, and that'll probably be his last fight.
From a fan's perspective, DC versus Lesnar or DC versus John Jones 3? What sort of tickles your fancy more, Colby? What would you rather see?
I'd rather see DC versus Lesnar. I think DC is the natty GOAT, you know, the natural greatest of all time. No doubt about it. He's never failed those steroid tests. He's never hit no people in the Bentley with hookers in the back while his wife and kids were at home. He's never hit some pregnant lady in an intersection and then ran from the crime scene with all his drugs and money. So the guy's, you know, he's a class act. DC deserves a big fight, and Lesnar is that big fight. Lesnar's a former champion, you know, a WWE champion, a world champion. He's a great fighter, a great American fighter, and I think they should go to war. I don't think that John Jones should be rewarded for his stupidity and being the biggest fuck up in all professional sports. That guy doesn't deserve anything. All he deserves is to fucking go read his tweets in jail cells.
Well, just quickly, as we let you go, Colby, obviously it's always fun chatting with you, but what's on the horizon for you sort of in the near future while you wait for this fight with Tyron Woodley to get booked? I know you said you're aiming for possibly Super Bowl weekend, early February. How are your holidays looking, and what are you going to get up to in the meantime?
Yeah, I'm going to do what I do best, you know, slay women, get a new girl for every day of the week. I got to have my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday set up. So, you know, I like diversity and flavor. So, you know, I mix it up. You know, I got a wide variety of chicks, all shapes and sizes. So, you know, I got to stay up on my chicks. You know, I get richer every day I wake up. I get a little bit more wealthy. You know, I got sponsors coming out of the ass now. Everybody wants to jump on the Colby bandwagon now. So, you know, I'm just going to keep doing what I do. Keep, you know, training, keep better than it's ever been. You know, I'm just proud to be an American, and I'm grateful to this great country.
Well, if there's one thing clear, it is that we are living the wrong life, man. We need to get some of that Colby Covington love, and get some more girls. Get some more girls during the week. There you go, guys. Follow them out on Twitter and Instagram at ColbyCovMMA. We know there's always great t-shirts to get, so check those out as well. And it's always fun chatting with you, Colby, man. Always appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you so much. And we hope this big fight gets booked. Need to see it already.
I know. It needs to happen already. I've been talking about it, and now it's time for it to happen. So, you know, I'm going to put on a good show for you guys. I'm going to send that little soy boy Woodley out to pasture. I'm going to retire him. We're never going to have to hear his boring shit ever again that, oh, everybody hates me because they're racist. No, they hate you because you don't fight, and you have some of the worst fights in the UFC history. So least strikes thrown in a title fight ever. That's the only history that Woodley will ever be known for. So, you know, it's going to happen soon, guys. I'm going to retire that filthy animal.
Thank you so much, Colby. Appreciate it.
Take care, guys.